So we just did gravel Locos, and it was crazy. Do you know what temperature it was? Like how hot it got?
The last I saw, it was supposed to get up to 94 degrees,
Yeah.
and it was about 50% humidity. At that time, it started at like 80% humidity, so
Yeah.
just brutally humid.
I guess so I'm here with Tanner. I guess let's hear your race, and then we can do my race, and then just go ahead. I'll just listen.
My race, it was a unique experience. So I started off feeling pretty good. Honestly, I was really happy with the neutral rollout, which was, like, for me, historically really sketchy.
There was a lot of people, dude.
There were a lot of people, but I felt like I could move up enough. I felt like there was enough space. Nobody was like honking down on the brakes. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is kind of nice. Like, this is kind of okay. I'm not like having to like surge and punch and do crazy stuff. I'm just like doing a neutral rollout. It's casual, like it's supposed to be. We got into the ride, and it sort of was spreading out naturally. There were some people that were way too far up that shouldn't have been there, that I had to kind of get around. I closed a few gaps. I moved across. I was pushing ahead and all that sort of stuff.
Do you remember your average like mile per hour, like in the beginning?
You know what? Early on, I wasn't looking closely at the miles per hour, but I'm certain it had to be over 20.
Yeah.
Early on.
Did you make the hills? Those like 3Bs, whatever they called it.
Yeah, I made it. I moved up enough to find a pretty good group, and it probably took maybe 15 miles or so to settle in.
Oh, okay.
To a really good group and get sort of like where we were.
Did you have to work? Because like I pretty much went all day without working.
I did a bit.
Okay.
And there were the groups was fast enough that there were some passengers that.
Oh yeah.
I think they were doing the best they could, but they weren't helping out. And you knew once you kind of got into some of the climbing, they were just going to fall away naturally.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't really want to push these guys to like. There was a couple times I actually met up with Mike Robbins or Robinson. Do you remember? You know him?
Sure.
Yeah.
I can't think sure.
Yeah, sorry. I met up with Mike R. He's a solid dude.
Yeah.
Out there, kind of got to chatting with him. He kind of helped get people pulling through, working together. So that was kind of cool. Surprisingly, he was doing the 60 today.
Oh, really?
So probably, I think in preparation of Unbound.
Yeah.
Because he is doing that one. But yeah, I don't know. I did a bit of work. Maybe I did a little too much work, in the early stages of things. But got into a pretty good rhythm from like maybe mile 15 to mile 50.
Yeah.
Nice. It was pretty good group, pretty solid,
Tell me about the aid station, the first aid station, mile 24. What'd you do there?
I rolled right past
You
it.
did not.
I did. I rolled right past it.
I would swear at you right now if I was putting this on YouTube.
Yeah, rolled right past it. Pretty sure I rolled right past the second one.
No, you
didn't even look over.
Do you remember my plan that I told you? I'm gonna stop at every aid station and chug as much water as I can.
Yeah, that in retrospect, that makes some sense.
Okay, keep going. So you're at mile 50.
So mile 50, things start getting more challenging. The group has now become a lot more. My group is a lot more select.
Yeah.
There's maybe 4 of us, 5 of us.
Yeah.
Something like that. And frankly, there was one guy all decked out in purple. I don't know if I got his name.
Yeah.
But he had been doing the lion's share of the work in the group, and he blew. And it was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And then like almost maybe a few minutes later, I blew. And I was like, this is interesting. I'm like, this is not good. And so up to this point, I'm kind of pushing what I think is good power, like in the 220 to 40 range ish.
Yeah.
And feeling like my legs are there. Like I feel like I'm pretty good. I've been we're 3 hours in,
Yeah.
feeling pretty strong, moving pretty quickly. I was probably north of 18-ish miles an hour, probably.
Probably mile 55-ish, give or take.
Give or take,
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess the third aid station was 59. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So the third aid station comes along, and all of a sudden, maybe 3 or 4 miles before this, things start going sideways for me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, pushing power is really difficult. I'm trying to suck down as much water as I can.
Yeah.
And I was carrying 3 liters on my back. I had a liter bottle on the bike. So that at that point was full. The liter bottle was full. I didn't know how much was in my bag. I could tell it was getting lighter, but I didn't know how much was in there.
I know you had an empty bottle, but we'll get to that.
I did have an empty bottle.
We'll get to that later.
I did have an empty bottle that had scratch powder in there. It did not have any water in there.
Yeah.
Again, the logic is we're going by so many aid stations. I'll have plenty of opportunities to fill it up, and then I'll have, I won't have to carry all the extra weight of the water.
All right, so you pass aid station.
So I get to the third aid station.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I roll up, and I'm just all I say to him is, anything cold.
Yeah.
Anything cold. I just want anything cold. And they walked over with 2 shot glasses of water. And I was like, okay.
Shot glasses?
Yeah, they were shot glasses.
Are you sure it wasn't electrolytes? Because they had...
They were water. They were water. I feel pretty confident it was water.
Dude.
And I knocked them back, and I'm like,
okay,
that happened.
Can I have 100 more?
And they were like, do you want any ice in your bottle? And the only bottle that had liquid in it was the 1 liter bottle. So I grabbed it and I just chugged out as much as I could in one big squeeze. And so I took down maybe, I don't know, quarter liter-ish, thereabouts. Maybe up to a third.
And then you
and I was like, here, put ice in this, because he was like, I can put ice in there. And so I was like, just fill it up with ice.
Yeah.
So he just filled it up with ice. They gave me a tissue to wipe my eyes because I couldn't see. I was just salted up.
Oh, yeah.
And really burning. My eyes were just burning. Could barely keep them open.
I got to send you that link for that. It's like a Walls cap, dude. I sweat more than anybody, and it will keep that out of your eyes. I had that same problem.
Nice. Yeah, it was pretty painful.
So and then you filled your camel back up, right? Tell me about that.
Well, not realizing how empty it was, I just thought, it's probably fine. So, no, I did not. I did not fill up the camelback. I really didn't take on any liquids at that point, just except for the ice. And they did put a nice block of ice down my back.
Yeah.
And wiped my eyes, had my 2 shot glasses of water.
Yeah.
and I rolled away.
Okay, so keep going. I don't want to interrupt you. Keep going.
And almost immediately the wheels fully came off. And it was because at this point we turned basically due north and had a 20-ish mile, or at least reported to be 18, 19 miles an hour wind from the south. And as I was saying, the temp at that point was 92, and the humidity was way up there. And so it just felt like the air stopped, and it was just suddenly just boiling.
Yeah, I felt that sometimes.
And so for me, just sitting there baking with hot water in my bottle, I almost immediately ran out of it. The camelback was gone.
Yeah.
Within a mile. If I was even thinking at all, I would have just gone back and started over. Try it again. Fill this up, fill that up.
Yeah.
I didn't. And that's when things started getting really sideways. So I spent the next about 10 miles, power dropped down to when it was going good, I would break 100.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, it was like coasting was all I could do, and I started feeling like I'm falling asleep. Like I'm like I can barely keep my eyes open. I can barely. I'm just falling asleep. People are riding past me, and I start getting really confused on just what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, why am I here? What am I doing? Where am I going? And like all sense of time just stops.
Oh my God.
And people keep riding past me, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like,
No.
"Yeah, I don't know."
Yeah.
Like, I had
asked
one,
you that, and you didn't answer me. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, I had one guy roll up right at the beginning of this, and we had a bit of a conversation. And I know I told him that he's like, because I'd been riding with this guy.
Yeah.
And we had dropped this guy. I had dropped this guy, and then he rolls back up and he's like, "Everything okay?"
Yeah.
Because this was like he was seeing something different here. And I told him, I was like, "I'm falling asleep," and he's like, "That's weird." He's like, "Well, have a good one."
Yeah.
And he rolls on.
Yeah.
You know, and I think he was concerned, but I was still turning the pedals over, so I don't think he knew what to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was the first person, and then it just got progressively worse and worse until when you found me sitting. I decided at one point, I don't know why, to just pull over and stop, and then just sat there on the side of the road and watched people come past, and I was just sitting there, and that's kind of where that was right about, I guess, almost mile 70, 69 or something.
Yeah.
And and you rolled up, and you're like, "Well, wait a minute. What the hell are you doing over there?"
Yeah.
And I was just sitting in the sun, working on my tan. And,
Like, let's go in the shade and talk.
And I was like, I remember saying, "There's shade?"
So in my mind, I'm like, as I didn't realize how bad you were, and I was like, we're gonna get some liquids in him.
Yeah.
We're gonna slow down, and we'll stick together, and we'll find more water. Because we
Yeah.
were like, I knew we had 25 more miles to the next water,
Yeah.
and we were literally coming up on the hardest part of the whole race. Yeah, and then so we flagged down a fire truck coming by, and I don't know, what did they tell you? Like,
They were cool. I mean, like, and it was weird. I was in this place where there's a zebra. It's random. Don't see that very often in Texas.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I was kind of like in this place where I didn't know what was really going on.
Yeah.
You kept asking me questions, and I kept trying to answer you.
Yeah.
And just words weren't coming out, and I was on the verge of like feeling like I was going to start crying, and then also feeling like I was going to like again fall asleep.
Yeah.
And just really really confused. So the guys, the when you flagged down the firefighters,
Yeah.
they rolled over, and we're, as firefighters tend to be, we're pretty chill, just kind of like,
Yeah.
"What's up, dude? You look bad." And they kind of were feeling it out. And, they definitely knew the score before I did,
Yeah.
but they were just kind of like, "What's going on?" And you really like did most of the talking to them in the beginning. I like took a knee. Like it was like, like I was like, I can't really even stand up right now.
So basically, they were saying it was like the beginning of heat stroke. So I remember him quizzing you.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that he asked you, you were definitely had those symptoms.
Okay.
And then and then I was just like, okay, to you, I kept asking you, like, are you going to finish? And then, like, when that kind of, like, reality started hitting me, I was like, no, he's not finishing. Like, we're not riding together anymore.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I'm like, okay, he's with the firefighters. I'm out.
Yeah.
But, so that's when I left.
Yeah, I was glad you. I mean, I was glad you stopped. And glad you helped me get the fire trucks. But I was also glad you left because it was like,
it's okay.
I was just ruining your day.
No,
I was like, dude.
Okay, so I was able to help you, and then I maybe lost like 20 positions. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like I'm super glad that.
Well, the one thing that I did notice that I like for whatever reason this made sense to me. You rolled past and you were sitting in a great spot.
Oh, yeah.
You had a great looking group.
Yeah.
Like. You're just like, you're
smiling,
them, you're just like you're clearly having fun.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh no. Because actually what you did, when you rolled past, you were like, come on, dude, get on. Go.
Oh, yeah, because I waited for you. I was trying
to,
I was going to pull you back.
You set up.
Yeah.
It's like you were going to get me on that group.
Yeah.
And I tried.
Did you really?
I tried. That was me like really trying. I was like, okay, we're doing this. This is what's happening right now. I'm going to get back on with Justin and we're going to just figure out whatever comes next. You know, and then like after I pushed the pedals for a second, I was like, where am I? Like it was like, again, it was like immediately back to that sort of like, I'm confused about life again.
Did they say anything else to you when they were like driving you back or anything like that?
They basically were like, you don't look good. And I asked them a few questions about like, I was like, this is so strange because like 10 miles ago I was fine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like doing normal stuff. Life is good. And then like all of a sudden like this confusion set in and this like really, it just got real weird. And he's like, yeah, basically what happens is your body realizes you are in a bad way.
Yeah.
And it stops doing like normal functions like sweating and that sort of stuff. And all of a sudden you're upside down and your body just starts shutting off systems.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess that's partly where some of that confusion comes in and whatever.
Yeah.
But they were like, yeah, your body was just shutting down. Like you're just, it's going into like only emergency systems of like, you need this, you don't need that. You do need this, you don't need that. And everything you don't need, it's just shutting off.
Yeah. It's like probably like pulling blood to your like organs.
Probably, yeah, exactly, exactly. And so they basically were just like, yeah, you're shutting it down. Like honestly, this is like if you had gone on, I don't know, you could have gotten to the finish, but
would have passed out, dude.
But we probably would have found you in a ditch. We probably would have had to get you to a hospital. Like, you know. That's more than likely where that was headed.
Yeah.
He's like, we think you made the right call by getting in the car with us.
Yeah, dude. That was absolutely crazy.
But yeah, and then when I did get out of the car, and basically I'm sitting in the car with these guys, and they're just handing me bottles after bottle of like water and of everything and anything wet, and so I'm just chugging water in the car. I probably drank on the way back to the start as much or actually more liquids than I drank on the entire ride to that point.
Yeah.
And then when I, this is probably TMI, but I went and took a leak, and it was just like very, the color was a little disturbing.
Really?
Yeah.
Like brown?
Yeah. It was like, that's not right. This is a bad day. Yeah. So and then again, I continued just, once I was back, just drinking and drinking. But I will say this, when I got out of the car, they looked at me and they were like, oh, you're a different person than the one we picked up. Like you look, you have color in your face, like you look different, you look like you are not the person we picked up.
Okay, so to be honest, like I'm not like a firefighter or a doctor or anything like that, but in my biking opinion, I honestly think that if you just had water, because I know you had salt, like we talked about your salt was perfect.
Yeah.
You literally just needed water, even warm water. So like, I feel like, and once again, I'm not a doctor or firefighter, but like,
but you play one on TV?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Right.
I feel like if you drink enough water, your body will figure out how to use it. So like, I was just like sweating like crazy, right? And like chugging warm water, like I didn't care. It was just like everything. Like, warm was better because I could drink it faster.
I think even right before you saw me, I was like, I knew I was down to the dregs, and I was still trying to conserve and trying to save water.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I was in a weird bad spot.
Yeah. Well, you don't really in a race like this, you don't save water, do you? You drink it, and then you get more.
I think, like, truly, if I had been properly hydrating, would I have been in good shape? Would I have finished?
Oh, dude.
Would everything have been fine? Maybe. I don't know.
Really?
Like,
No, 100%. 100%. If you stopped at every aid station like I did. So I stopped at aid stations and wait, let me go ahead. I don't want to change the subject. Is there any more you want to talk about?
Oh no, I mean, I guess the only thing that I would do to like put a bow on it, since I did not finish, is literally just saying like, I don't know. I'm not as confident as you are that I would have finished. Going in without the heat acclimation, heat training.
Yeah.
I think that is for sure a factor. I don't know how much, if I had been hydrating, if I had doubled my water consumption, would that have been enough to get me to the finish line?
Maybe
I don't know, maybe.
10 times.
Or 10 times. 10
kidding.
times that might have been.
Yeah, because you didn't drink that much. I'm not even kidding. It probably would have to be 10 times.
Yeah. Well, okay. I don't know if I could have physically done that, but maybe triple.
I
don't know.
chugged 50 ounces at every aid station, not counting the 3 liters I was carrying.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so maybe 3 or 4 times what I drank would have been the way to go.
Yeah.
But I'm still not 100% confident I would have finished it. I think the likelihood definitely would have been a whole lot higher of finishing.
Yeah.
With at least double the hydration. So I think we can put that down in the book as lesson learned. I'm not drinking enough water on these hot days. Like, I need more water.
Yeah.
Period. So, that's something. Something to come away with.
Dude, I'm always learning from each race. It's always something new.
Yeah.
Last race, I learned how to put a TPU tube in.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it sounds stupid, but, like, when you're in the middle of the night, you've been racing for 15 hours, it's harder than it looks.
Yeah, you like, with your crazy long stuff, you'd probably go a little crazy, hour 20, hour whatever it is. Like, you deal with a little bit of that road confusion too.
Yeah, well, no, that's
in a different way, maybe.
Well, that's why I obsess over. You hallucinate sometimes.
Yeah.
But I obsess over nutrition because, like, you can't mess it up on a 17-hour ride.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything else about your race you want to talk about?
I bumped into Laurent Tendam at the end, and he was like, "How'd it go?" And I was like, "Eh." And he was like, "It was hot."
Yeah.
that was about all I got out of him. But yeah, I think that's all I got.
Okay.
How'd your day go?
Good. Okay, so it was good. So we started, got there early, started the rollout. I don't know, like, I was going fast, but I don't know what my average mile per hour was because I think I had started my GPS early, so it was giving me, like, not accurate. I don't know, I was feeling great, like, in the start. Got to mile 24 was the first aid station. I was completely out of water by then.
Were you really?
100%.
Wait, how much did you start with?
Actually not that much. 40 ounces.
40 ounces. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's not much. That's liter and almost a liter and a half.
Yeah, because I think a liter is like 33-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I get there, and because I have one bottle full of gel, and then the other one is half full.
Wait, are you counting the liter of gel in your 40 ounces of water?
No.
Okay.
Because I have 4 bottles. Okay, so then I get to the first aid station, and I drink 50 ounces of water, give or take like 10. And then I fill up, and I noticed it was hot, so I have like that half a...
You noticed that,
huh? Yeah, so I have that little half a gel bottle in there, and so I put water on top of that, so then I had about 60 ounces in my bike of water, and I had just drank 50-ish.
Plus your food jug.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I needed to make it to mile 43 for the next one. So the way I was doing it was I was like trying to make sure that I drank all the water by the time I got to the next aid station.
Okay.
And I was completely empty like 5 miles before. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
And like I was feeling great. I was like riding like well. I mean, I was drafting with everybody, but not pulling.
Yeah.
Almost at all. Like
it's the
all
way
day.
to do it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I saw it. Well, there was a girl that crashed on a corner. It was semi early in the race, I think. It was a tight right corner.
Okay.
With big rocks loose, and there was people helping her.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't stop.
Yeah.
But I got to mile 43. Did the same thing, chugged 50 ounces, and refilled my bottles. And then the next stop was, what was after 43? 59, right? Yeah, 59. So, I mean, not much, just felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think...
When you stop, how many bottles are you actually filling? Like physical bottles?
Yeah, like 4, because I put water on top of the nutrition. So like I'll start with like a bottle of like just pure gel, like from my nutrition, and then once I start taking sips of it, I just add water on top.
So do you roll up and you like hand a bottle to like 4 different people?
I was, but I wasn't in a super hurry. Like I wasn't gonna get podium. I wasn't even gonna finish like top whatever. So honestly, and like Unbound is my A race. This was like more for fun B race, but I always like to do my best. But I was kind of taking it chill. I was like taking videos of the aid stations. But I wasn't taking too long at the aid station. I was in and out, dude. People were like sitting there, like camped out in chairs. Like it looked like I don't know, like a bomb had gone off and people were like injured everywhere.
And so like riders, not like people working the station. Like
no, like everyone looked horrible, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you were, I assume, sounds like you were in a group when you rolled up to the aid station.
Yeah.
Did the whole group pull over and stop, or did you?
Usually people did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I was like overall, I felt good all day. There was here's something interesting actually. There were points in the day where I felt like, especially like when you didn't get any wind, and I felt like or if I was like pushing too hard to like catch somebody or whatever, climb. I felt like I was getting too hot. Like I could tell like this is not okay, right?
Yeah.
So I would pull over in the shade and just wait 30 seconds. Seriously, and just wait. I think I did it about 4 times in the entire race.
Interesting.
Yeah, and like,
was that normal for you, or?
Well, it's 95 degrees out.
is 95 degrees normal?
Like I was listening to my body, dude. Like I was like, this is not something. We're pushing a little too hard.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna take 30 seconds. Yeah.
That's probably very smart. I don't know why I never thought of that.
Yeah, and then those 30 seconds, like maybe like a pee break or chug some water, especially if like I'm not keeping up with my nutrition or water. I can have a second to like just like take it,
have a little water, have a little food.
Yeah. Okay, and then a mile. Okay, I saw you. I'll skip over that part because we've already talked about seeing you.
We've covered that sad situation.
So then I ditched you, and then I felt so guilty because I felt like,
really,
dude, I felt so good. Like after I left you, I know there was nothing I could do, but like I was feeling really good.
Yeah.
So I was like flying after that, like 20 miles an hour flying, and
Love
then
it.
We probably got hot again. Took a little break.
You're just like casual, chilling. Like, having the.
I didn't really ride after that. I didn't really ride with people much. Maybe like I don't know, like maybe a little bit here and there. But my speed got super erratic, where I would like sprint and then slow down and sprint and slow down.
When you rode away from me, were you like motivated to like go?
Yeah. I was.
So you hit the gas.
Yeah, but just for fun.
I mean, that makes sense.
I wasn't like being like, I need to get 40th place or something.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm doing my best. Whatever, it's fun.
Yeah.
There wasn't. I got my hydration really good. Like there was a lot of people giving out water. One dude was like, you're making it too easy because like I prepared for 30 miles of no water and the dude's out there giving. I mean, I wasn't being mean to him, but I was like, anyways, there was a lot of water stops here.
Yeah. Yeah, there was 4 or 5.
No, it was more because
more than that.
Yeah, because
not for me.
well, there was a guy out there with a hose.
Yeah.
There was cars out there that would like pull over and give you water bottles, and they had the Gravel Locos shirts on.
Okay.
Dude, they were like taking care of people, but
nice. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much all I got. I finished, and yeah, felt good. And then you wanted me to ride more.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Like when we got to the end, I was like, I feel great. Let's go.
Yeah, I felt pretty good too.
Let's go get some more miles.
Yeah.
It's like I'm human again. Yeah. I don't know. So how did you? Do you know how you finished overall?
I didn't
even checked.
I didn't even look. Honestly, it happens a lot where I'm just like tired and I just don't care anymore.
I was really curious because like when we hit the split for the like the 60s went one way and the 110s went another.
Yeah.
That group that I was in at that moment was probably like 25 strong.
Okay.
And it got cut in half. I mean, maybe even most of the people went the 60. Which kind of surprised me a little bit. They were the people that were like not really wanting to help out.
Oh yeah,
as well.
Cough, me.
Yeah. But you did the 110.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise to me. So I was trying to figure out, like at that moment, when I was 50 miles in and still feeling good.
Yeah.
I wonder how close I was to the fast guys.
Well, I think it was the maple syrup, and you should have been using my simple cycling nutrition.
Hey, I'm ready to give it a shot. Especially, this is the second time I've had heat related troubles on
it was
in
water,
a run.
though, dude. It wasn't. I don't think.
I think the last time that I had heat troubles was a food situation.
Oh, okay.
And I think this time for sure was a water situation.
Yeah.
Again, I just kept feeling like I'm so hot. I'm boiling. I'm hot. There's no escape. There's
your body needed the water so that it could sweat and cool you down.
Yeah.
Like it's not ice. Like in my personal opinion.
No, I mean, again, like I think you're right. I think if the fireman was correct in saying that I had stopped sweating.
Oh yeah.
Like.
Well, your body's like, I have no water. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, exactly. Then that would make tons of sense that you just start boiling and getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Because that's what I felt like. I felt like I was just like 1,000,000 degrees. Like I've never felt this hot in my life.
Yeah. We could probably cut it there, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing a race recap with me.
Yeah, no worries. Glad to do it.
Hope
somebody finds it interesting.
Yeah. I think the next one is Leadville, so hopefully we can do one there.